someone else, your name in a bright, crowded hallway, you freeze immediately. Your chest tightens like a vice. Your mind goes completely blank. You struggle to find a single word. You stammer out a pathetic, weird noise instead. You feel utterly humiliated. You escape the small talk as fast as humanly possible. You retreat to a safe, quiet space. You obsess over that one brief cringe moment for 3 whole days. Your heart pounds violently in your chest every single time you remember it. You chorka on your own unspoken words. You think you completely lack basic social skills. You believe your internal communication system is permanently broken. Listen to me very carefully. You are completely wrong about yourself. This is not a shameful personality flaw. This is not regular social anxiety. Your neural pathways are not somehow genetically defective. You are experiencing a sudden, brutal biological hijacking. Your physical body is actually treating a simple, casual greeting like a fatal physical threat. You crumble under the heavy, suffocating pressure to act totally normal. You force a painful, fake smile to hide your panic. You sweat profusely through your clean clothes. You hide your visibly trembling hands inside your pockets. You punish yourself every single lonely night for being so weirdly awkward. Stop doing that right now. I will expose the exact primal neural mechanism that savages you daily. I will prove exactly how your exhausted brain is secretly trying to save your fragile life. You must understand this deeply uncomfortable truth to finally regain your absolute power. Do you play that incredibly clumsy interaction before bed? Do you assume they instantly judge your pathetic greeting? Do you convince yourself they noticed your embarrassing stutter? Do you fabricate an elaborate mental movie where they secretly mock your existence? Do you imagine their neutral stare is actually profound disgust? You play the tragic victim in a horrific script you wrote yourself. You read their microscopic facial expressions completely wrong. You project your own crippling self-doubt onto their perfectly normal faces. You suffer intensely from a textbook cognitive distortion. You believe you somehow possess a cursed telepathic ability. You pirate sick absolute social ruin from a single awkwardly pitched hello. Let us examine your actively glitching brain. Your prefrontal cortex is wildly hallucinating right now. You are falling helpless victim to the spotlight effect. Your complex neural circuitry magnifies your tiny social slip-up by 1,000%. Your brain is frantically trying to calculate the exact probability of your social rejection. It constructs these terrifying fictional scenarios as a brutal primal defense mechanism. It desperately wants to protect you from being permanently banished from the human tribe. But you must hear this cold clinical truth. You are not a magical omniscient mind reader. You continually fail to realize the incredibly boring, mundane reality. They do not care about your brief, insignificant verbal glitch. They are completely absorbed in their own exhausting daily survival. They literally forgot your utterly awkward encounter 3 seconds after it actually happened. You must surrender this toxic imaginary superpower immediately. Stop projecting your endless, exhausting mental loops onto innocent strangers. Your own brain is literally gaslighting you every single day. It actively manipulates your sensory input to keep you safely hyper-vigilant. You overanalyze perfectly safe interactions until they feel like psychological torture. You silently punish yourself for a social crime that only ever happened inside your own head. You are trapped inside a tiny, claustrophobic elevator. The steel doors closed agonizingly slowly. That casual acquaintance stands right beside you. The silent air feels incredibly thick. Your lungs suddenly forget how to breathe. You desperately search your empty brain for a single safe topic. Your conscious mind goes completely, terrifyingly blank. Your entire body freezes in pure physical horror. Your palms sweat profusely. Your throat closes tight. You form a painful, trembling smile. You drain your fragile social battery in 3 agonizing seconds. You feel the intense, crushing pressure of their polite eye contact. You panic quietly behind your frozen polite mask. What is actually happening inside your skull? Your complex biological system is not malfunctioning. Your primal amygdala has just activated a massive, silent internal alarm. It instantly recognizes that harmless human stare as a deadly, stalking predator. Your sensitive nervous system is currently suffering a severe, debilitating somatic overload. Your adrenal glands aggressively pump raw cortisol directly into your racing bloodstream. Your sympathetic nervous system forcefully overrides your logical, civilized intentions. Your total neural bandwidth is completely, utterly maxed out. Your brain ruthlessly conserves crucial survival energy by shutting down your advanced speech centers. It rapidly redirects your warm blood flow to your tense, rigid muscles. You are literally preparing to fight a terrifying phantom beast. You burn out your deep energy reserves just to survive meaningless small talk. This is not pathetic social incompetence. This is a highly advanced primal energy optimization protocol. Your brilliant, exhausted biological machine is deliberately overclocking itself to keep you perfectly safe. You freeze simply because your body is trying to make you invisible to the perceived threat. Why do you instantly apologize when a clumsy stranger bumps into you? You constantly avert your nervous eyes during a basic, completely harmless conversation. You instinctively S-rank your physical posture to appear incredibly small and unnoticeable. You think you're just being an extremely polite, nice human being. You falsely believe this deeply humble behavior makes you a genuinely good person. You are completely deceiving your own logical, highly capable mind. This is not normal, socially acceptable, civilized courtesy. This is a highly predictable, desperate evolutionary appeasement strategy. Let us examine the dark reality of your biological hierarchy. When your terrified brain detects a perceived superior social threat, it instantly racks. It aggressively supersesses your normal, healthy serotonin levels. It forcefully pushes your entire complex nervous system into a deeply submissive state. You literally beg for totally unwarranted forgiveness to rapidly avoid imaginary conflicts. You are desperately signaling to the perceived dominant predator that you are utterly harmless. You constantly sacrifice your own rigid personal boundaries to quickly buy temporary emotional safety. Your chronic, painful imposter syndrome absolutely thrives on this exact pathetic biological loop. By constantly shrinking away from eye contact, you actively teach your brain a toxic lesson. You force your neural pathways to permanently accept absolute defeat. You are systematically destroying your own internal status piece by fragile piece. You must stop apologizing for your simple, completely valid physical existence in this world. You must halt this automatic, humiliating neural surrender right this exact second. Do not surrender your vital social power to a fake, invisible, primal predator. If you are hearing my steady voice right now, it is absolutely not a random, meaningless accident. You feel a strange, profound sense of validation because I just accurately named your deeply hidden secret pain. You are finally completely seen by someone who truly understands your silent struggle. You are not alone in this dark, exhausting, invisible internal war. Millions of highly sensitive, incredibly smart individuals silently fight this exact same brutal biological battle every single day. Subscribe to this channel right now to permanently reclaim your mental freedom. Comment down below, "My biology is not my fault." Commit to this powerful therapeutic pledge right this exact second. We will continue to surgically decode your brilliant, misunderstood brain together. Now, let us gently return to the grim reality of your daily psychological battlefield. Why do you feel so utterly, completely devastated after a very simple, harmless social gathering? You sit completely silent in a loud, crowded room, yet you feel intensely, unbearably isolated from all of humanity. You feel entirely empty inside, even when surrounded by actively smiling friends. You are chronically physically exhausted because your struggling brain is desperately running a massive, heavy fake operating system. Clinical psychology, formerly Cal-LS, this incredibly brutal, soul-crushing phenomenon masking. You violently force your complex neural network to constantly project an acceptable, perfectly normal human persona. You manually calculate every single fake smile, every polite forced nod, and every socially acceptable tone of voice. This constant, rigid, conscious calculation rapidly depletes your brain of vital, essential neurotransmitters. Your prefrontal cortex works agonizing, continuous overtime just to actively suppress your natural, authentic reactions. You aggressively burn through your extremely finite cognitive resources just to successfully pretend you are perfectly fine. Your delicate, overworked neurons are literally decaying from this unnatural, relentless daily social performance. You diligently wear a heavy, suffocating, invisible mask to carefully hide your profound, beautiful sensitivity from a harsh, fiercely judging world. You successfully survive the mandatory networking event, but you tragically sacrifice your own authentic core identity in the painful process. You slowly lose yourself entirely inside this exhausting, perfectly curated social illusion. You must realize that constantly playing a fake, socially acceptable character is literally draining your precious, irreplaceable life force away. You cannot sustain this artificial existence forever. This specific truth will deeply hurt your fragile ego. You must listen to me very carefully anyway. You constantly think everyone intensely judges your tiny social mistakes. You firmly believe you are the absolute center of their critical universe. You are completely, utterly wrong. I will deliver a very painful, strictly necessary clinical truth right now. Absolutely nobody cares about your awkward little moments. They are entirely, completely obsessed with their own exhausting daily survival. You continually suffer from the severe spotlight effect. Your intense, crippling self-doubt is actually a highly toxic, hidden form of massive self-obsession. You unconsciously believe your simple daily existence matters that much to completely random strangers. You do not matter to them at all. Let us directly examine your default mode network. This specific, highly active brain region is literally your absolute worst internal enemy. It constantly generates terrifying, entirely fake social scenarios whenever you are physically resting. It ruthlessly tortures your tired mind with completely imaginary public judgment. It actively hijacks your baseline perception of actual reality. It violently forces you to overanalyze a meaningless silent pause. It makes you replay a casual conversation 50 different times. You automatically create massive, tragic, fictional dramas inside your own lonely skull. You always play the doomed, pathetic main character. You assume the entire world is carefully watching your every single move. You must stop feeding this exhausting, entirely narcissistic neural loop immediately. Your coworkers do not secretly hate your brief presentation. Your neighbors do not constantly whisper about your weird posture. They do not remember your incredibly clumsy handshake. They already forget your slight, nervous stutter from yesterday. You are entirely, beautifully insignificant to their chaotic, incredibly busy lives. You constantly waste your precious neural bandwidth on phantom critics. Your brain is aggressively fighting a brutal war against absolutely no one. This seemingly harsh scientific realization should profoundly liberate your trapped, exhausted soul. You are finally completely free to just simply exist in peace. You can finally drop the heavy defensive armor. You no longer need to perform flawlessly for a ghost audience. Stop punishing your own body for a cruel crowd that never actually existed. The heavy, suffocating curtain has finally fallen on your imaginary tragic play. Wake you from this toxic biological nightmare right now. You deserve to finally experience true, quiet emptiness in your own mind. You possess the the absolute ultimate power to rewrite this faulty biological code right this very second. You are the supreme master architect of your own incredibly complex mind. You can manually override this completely fake primal alarm. Listen to my exact, strict instructions right now. When that terrifying panic suddenly hits your tight chest during a casual conversation, when your mind goes completely agonizingly blank in public, do not try to desperately speak. Do not form a pathetic, trembling fake smile. Keep your mouth firmly, resolutely closed. You must physically signal absolute, undeniable safety to your screaming, confused amygdala. You will use this exact powerful clinical grounding technique. Breath in sharply through your nose for 4 quick seconds. Hold that fresh air completely still inside your lungs. Now exhale incredibly slowly through your mouth for 8 extremely long seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You must count the exact numbers inside your head. This specific mathematical breathing ratio physically forces your racing heart rate straight down. It instantly flushes the toxic, burning cortisol right out of your tense, rigid muscles. It aggressively pulls your exhausted brain entirely out of the primal fight or flight mode. You are literally hacking your own fragile, overactive nervous system. Modern medical science officially calls this profound, life-changing biological mechanism neuroplasticity. You can consciously reprogram your deeply flawed neural pathways using simple, deliberate physical actions. Every single time you purposefully slow your breathing down, you successfully destroy a microscopic piece of that toxic mental loop. You manually flip the hidden biological panic switch completely off in under 10 seconds. You instantly regain absolute, undisputed control over your physical reality and your social presence. You do not have to remain a pathetic, helpless victim of your own ancient biology anymore. You command your hyperactive brain to immediately stand down. Your physical body is an incredibly perfect, highly advanced biological machine. It is simply too beautifully sensitive for this loud, chaotic, relentless modern world. You are not fundamentally broken inside. You are not somehow socially defective. You are perfectly, undeniably, completely normal. You can finally exhale all that heavy, suffocating social guilt today. Allow your deeply exhausted soul to finally feel profound, silent peace. You absolutely deserve this quiet, mental clarity. Empower your incredibly complex mind. Validate your own wonderful, completely valid existence. Share you this exact video right now. Send it directly to a quiet, anxious friend who silently fights this exact same invisible battle tonight. Let them finally understand their own beautiful, perfectly functioning biology. Subscribe to this channel today to continuously decode your brilliant, deeply misunderstood brain. Step outside into the world with your chin held high. Your precious social battery is yours to entirely control. You are completely, undeniably safe now.